taking on three-time champions and the current two-time defending champions, Tunisia. Josh Mann alongside former head coach of the Tigers Nigeria and the man who led them to their one and only FIBA AfroBasket championship, Coach Will Voigt. Well, Coach, both these two teams coming off the back of very different results, but I'd expect your former team will probably be favorites coming into this matchup.
Yeah, I think they probably are. You know, this Tunisia team, so many new faces. 4 of the 5 starters for this team having their AfroBasket debut here. So a lot of nerves and jitters probably in that first game, but certainly a lot of room for improvement there.
Well, we'll go back to the fixtures that will go on today. Cameroon currently top of the group due to their magnificent three-point shooting in their opening win, while Nigeria also getting off to a good start. But as you mentioned, some other games. The first game they'll be tipping off in Namibia, we'll see Rwanda go up against the Congo DR, while Cameroon will be in action later on against Madagascar. Remember, Madagascar lost their opening game, while Cameroon also won theirs. And the final game that will take place in Namibia, we'll see Cabo Verde go up against Cote d'Ivoire. Well, Coach, when we look at the Tunisian national team, it wasn't the best start for them here in the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. I mean, Cameroon just shot the lights out from the perimeter, but this big man, Archie, he has got to be more involved in the offense. We can see the talent he has. When he went up against Eve Missy, I mean, he's a handle.
Well, you know, he's a pick and pop big, so he's able to bring these guys, space them out a little bit as a perimeter shooter, brings a different dimension to their offense, but they're going to need a lot of other players to step up, in particular Omar Abada. You know, really the stalwart for this national team. Had a rough day, just 3 for 13 from the floor. They're going to need a big game from him to have a chance here.
Well, Tunisia only 7 3-point field goals made in that opening defeat, of course, while Nigeria, it was quite a competitive game against Madagascar. They did, in the end, finish with an 18-point lead, but they had to work, especially in the fourth quarter. And some of the key players who really stepped up for the Tigers was Caleb Agata with 22 points. And then you had a combined total of 25 coming from one of your former players, Stan Okoye, and not to mention Ike Nwamu, who chipped in 12. But the Tigers coach, well, the perimeter shooting hasn't been as great as it could be. Well, there you can see the Nigerian players, and now we will stand for the national anthems of both Tunisia and Nigeria. Well, it's always a beautiful moment, an occasion to embrace basketball and international culture. The national anthems, of course, embodying that beautiful moment, as now the players of both Nigeria and Tunisia will get ready to meet center court and shake hands, as well as the coaches. Well, now at this stage, we'd like to introduce three very important people for tonight's game, and those indeed will be our three referees. Our three referees, of course, have done a magnificent job in all of our competitions, and they're three of the very finest. And they'll continue to do a great job tonight here for this important Group B fixture. Well, you can see our referees coming from the Congo, DR, Angola, and Rwanda. We have Jean Sava, Ruha Mirza, Tonton Kalume, and Claudio Ueba. A big thank you to all of our officials who've done a magnificent job. And this is going to be a big matchup. Remember, Tunisia losing their opening game. And, you know, Coach, these two teams, they have a bit of history together.
Well, there's no question about that. You know, Tunisia, obviously, traditionally one of the strongest national teams here in Africa. You know, we've had many battles against them with the national teams I've coached, but this is a different team. There's a lot of new faces here. They're new to AfroBasket, and they're trying to, you know, establish a new identity with this young group.
I mean, what's interesting about that defeat against Cameroon, 41 rebounds in total. They did get 20 offensive board, but only 3 plays in double figures. Jawadi will be in the backcourt along with one of the greatest players in the history of the AfroBasket, Amar Abada. Kozachi, those are big shoes to fill, because without Salamedri, they really need a dominant inside presence if they're going to beat the Tigers tonight, Coach.
Well, you can see Coach Marie making a lineup change here, bringing Marnawi in. They're going a little bit smaller. Metnani coming off the bench for them. So Coach trying to see if he can mix this lineup up, get a better start to the game than what they had in their first one.
Well, Mehdi Mari, the head coach of Tunisia, spent his time with CSP Limoges back in the 2021 regular season in Pro LNB in France, and now his duties take him to the national team of Tunisia. Well, Christian Mekawolu spent last season playing in the Japanese B-League with the Akita Northern Happiness, but I think many fans will know Kogi is probably going to have another big game tonight, Coach.
Well, you know, interesting. Josh is playing the point guard for this team, so different role than what he's used to in the NBA, having to be more of a facilitator for this offense.
Well, one of the players that did catch the attention of many viewers, and he will start tonight probably as their primary center, is Akobundo. I mean, this man is very relentless, but as you mentioned, Agata led them with 22 points in the last game. Zana, Ike Nwamu, and Akogi will also be, so that is a very strong lineup for the Tigers.
Well, a lot of experience there. You know, obviously these guys actually have some familiarity playing with each other. Akobundo, a lot of highlight plays in that last game, such a high flyer, and, you know, great mix. They're going to look to get up and down, really push tempo here. Trying to make sure that Tunisia isn't unable to slow this down and make it a half-court game.
Zana, box out, 22 on post-up. Luta, if there is delay, step out. Not flat, step out. Oshi, Akobu, you know, one-on-one defense above everything, and stunt, and we help each other. But first it's one-on-one. We don't give ton of space to somebody playing one-on-one, and we are like this, huh? We don't give like those spacing to someone play one-on-one. We are ready to stunt, we close the gap beginning and ready to stunt. Stunt and one-on-one, both team defense and individual responsibility. We want to generate closeout. This is what we want. Generate closeout. The best thing to generate closeout is to run. It's to get rebound and run. Focus rebound. Second best team in offensive rebound. Focus rebound about this, okay? All right, let's go, guys. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's start with energy. Energy on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Energy. Let's go, White. Let's go, White.
Both coaches getting some final words in with their players. And as you can hear from the Tunisian coaching staff, energy and taking care of the rebounds. And I think it's probably very evident that's one area Nigeria is going to try to dominate. But as mentioned, Cameroon getting 20 offensive boards, Tunisia getting 20 offensive rebounds in that defeat against Cameroon. Well, Coach, I think one thing, Tunisia's got to have a better night from the perimeter. But as also said, Archie has got to be a little bit more present in their offense. And when he got the ball in the paint in the first few options in that game against Cameroon, I mean, he can mix it up, Coach. He is very physical, but he's got very textbook, old-school post skills.
You know, Achi really a pick and pop player, so it's interesting to see they'll almost have a 5-out lineup here with the 4 guards around him. So maybe trying to spread Nigeria out a little bit. You heard Coach Mori talking about it pre-game. He wanted to get Nigeria into a closeout game, a lot of drive and kick. So more spacing on the floor with this starting lineup. Let's see if it helps this offense out in their second game of the tournament.
Welcome everybody live here in Luanda, Angola, the 31st edition. It is the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Second game for these two teams in Group B. Nigeria getting first possession. Akobundu coming up for a high ball screen. Well, here's the play they want to get going. Kogi had a bit of a slow scoring start against Madagascar, but they still won. That is where Caleb Agata is going to cause problems. I mean, he will draw a lot of fouls, and you know, one thing is for sure, Tunisia cannot afford for Jawadi to get into foul trouble.
Well, you heard Coach Mori talk about it pre-game, about the one-on-one defense, really winning your battle. They don't want to be in rotation defensively. Right there, just Jawadi unable to stay in front of Agata.
Okogie now looking to attack. There's a kick out. Nigeria going from the perimeter, getting an early three-pointer. And that's one way to get things going. Nwamu knocking it down from downtown.
Well, it's a nice kick out there from Okogie. You got to stay home a little bit more there with Nwamu. And that's what he wants to do, perimeter shooting.
Obata being heavily defended. Now goes down the middle. This nice little penetration, but the finish not quite there. I think a foul is going to be called on the ground. This is going to be against Akobundu.
Yeah, it looks like he was holding Achi there, trying to prevent him from getting the offensive rebound. You see here, nice kick out from Okogie, finding Nwamu in the corner for the 3.
Baseline inbound here for Tunisia. Quick catch and shoot by Jawadi. Akobundu getting the rebound. The Tigers like to run. And so Caleb Agata pushing the tempo. Well, they made an early 3. They'll go for another one. But Akobundu towering. Second chance points will go in their favor, and Akobundu goes in with a follow-up.
Well, it all started in transition there. Good job of Nigeria pushing the pace, keeping Tunisia in rotation that entire possession.
Tunisia's got to be able to take care of the ball pressure. Jawadi throwing too tough a pass, and that's going to go out of bounds. So Nigeria will retain this.
Yeah, the pressure really bothering him there. Good job of Nigeria making it difficult for Tunisia in the early starts of this game.
I think that was going in regardless, but I mean, he is going to be a huge X factor for the Tigers as this tournament progresses. Remember, Coach, and you know this, you were the one that led them as head coach to the one and only FIBA AfroBasket Championship.
Well, interestingly enough, in that 2015 AfroBasket, we lost to Tunisia in group play. They were the hosts, a really good team they brought to that tournament. So there's a long history of competition between these two national teams.
Well, Zana just going in with a sweet little Euro step, extending Nigeria's lead. Tunisia still looking for that first field goal. Because, Coach, you remember in that defeat against Cameroon, it took Tunisia over 7 minutes to get a field goal in the fourth and final quarter.
Well, the pressure bothered them against Cameroon. You can see the same thing happening here. Tunisia wants to be able to execute their half-court offense. Nigeria doing everything they can to disrupt, pressure the ball, pressure these entries.
Achi coming up with it. Still a lot of time here on the clock for Tunisia. The two-time defending champions right now being tested heavily. They got to come up with something. Time is winding down. One-legged fadeaway, and that's going to be a 24-second violation. Suffocated defense coming from the Tigers.
Yeah, just really nothing going for Tunisia right now. This ball pressure really affecting them, having a hard time generating any kind of open look to start this game.
It's been over 2 minutes. Not a great start here for Tunisia. Agata so far has been their best play here in that opening game. Akobundu coming up with a high screen. Agata, tough contested shot is up, and now extending it to a 10-0 lead. Nigeria cruising. And I think a timeout is going to be called by Tunisia, Coach.
Well, tough shot here from Agata. Really picking up where he left off from that last game. He's been such a dynamic scorer for this national team, one of their leading scorers throughout the qualification rounds, and following up his tremendous first game here.
We call ice. Omar, good job closing the gap. Okay, we call back. Okay, important we stay on that. Omar, when there is pick and roll here 34, not too much. Stand, but not too much. Yassine, don't forget the tag. Okay, don't forget the tag. Okay, back court one. Back court one. Omar. Pass, hand off. We do step up. No, not with the 3. Only Oshi with the 5. After, when we are half court, we can play Spanish pick and roll or pick and pop. Also, okay? Oshi, when you see they are going weak, like this, don't do this and then that. No, immediately here. Okay? Clear? Okay? Hey, defense above everything on one-on-one, huh? All right, let's go, let's go. Control one-on-one. Not so much pressure on ball.
Well, they definitely needed this timeout, Coach, because as you alluded to, nothing working on offense, but you got to credit that down to Nigeria's defense. I mean, they're everywhere. Hands in the passing lanes, pressure on the ball handlers.
Yeah, they've done a great job. You know, they obviously have an athleticism advantage. I'm sure they watched the Cameroon game and how much Cameroon was able to disrupt Tunisia. So nice job of coming out to start this game.
Just over 2.5 played. Tunisia will get this back, and already Nigeria putting on that full court man-to-man defense. Well, here's where Tunisia's got to be aggressive, right at the defense.
Let it go, let it go.
Another turnover, that's going to go out of bounds. Nigeria, unfortunately, Caleb Agata just having his heel on the baseline, so this will be Tunisia's ball inbound.
Yeah, Marnawi's got to give a better pass there. Just a little too low for Oshi to handle.
Well, 3 goes flying. Rebound has been secured. Agata. Everything going through him on the offense. Agata kicks out. There's the baseline penetration. Good help side defense by Tunisia. And now a 3 in the corner. That's contested. That's not going to go. Tunisia need to get him clicking. Jawadi's got to be some form of inspiration in their offense. It's a good look for him. And there you have it. Over 3 minutes, getting their first field goal.
Well, Jawadi, the lone bright spot for Tunisia in their game against Cameroon. Really nice job here using the re-screen, finding a nice mid-range pull-up.
Well, Agata this time being guided by Jawadi. Now they want to go for a post entry. Go for tough again. That's good defense, but coach, that's better offense.
Well, really tough shot there from Zana.
A smart, intelligent play there, because I think he fooled the defense trying to go for the pass, but in the end, well, here we go. Akabundu, well, unable to connect, but my word, coach, the elevation on Akabundu.
Well, there's not much you can throw that he can't come down with, so just barely missing the lob there.
Well, nice dime by Akogi, but that's going to be a turnover. Zana, that's the right idea, but they had to catch that one at a very tough angle.
Yeah, it's very hard for bigs to catch a straight angle pass in transition. Akogi, maybe that's where the lack of point guard experience comes to play there.
Here comes that dribble handoff that culminates in a ball screen with Ochi. Marnawi. Trying to go for a step. This time a foul's going to be called, but I think that's going to be called against Ike Nwamu.
Yeah, I think Nwamu bumps him a little bit as he goes to rise up. And, you know, this was an adjustment I wanted to see them make against Cameroon. With all this ball pressure, it can be really hard to run a motion continuity offense. Sometimes it's just easier to get spacing, go right into pick and roll, see if those primary ball handlers are able to rotate the defense a little bit.
Christian Mekawolu subbing into the game for the first time, so Akabundu going to the bench for the Tigers. Chance now for Marnawi to put some points on the board for Tunisia. Can't cut it down to a 6-point deficit. It's got to be tough for players like Omar Abada. You know, having played alongside the likes of Makram Ben Ramdan and Salah Medri to now being the leader of this team, but that's how it goes in one's career. You've got to progress from being the facilitator to one of the key go-to players. And speaking of go-to plays, Agata Picking up right where he left off, Coach, in that opening win.
Well, God has been tremendous. You can see the scorer's mentality there, but to your point with Abada, I had a chance to talk with him before this game. You can see him pull up there and talked about that very thing. He was a rookie making his debut in 2015. And, Koji there, but Abada now the veteran leader of this team, so a very new role for him.
What Koji did right there, just lured the defense in and completely fooled everybody, then finishing with a one-handed slam. But now Abada penetrates, tries to go off the bank. It's a good offensive rebound by Tunisia, but nothing fully. Koji's got numbers. Goes to Agata, three in the corner, goes up for it. Makawolu tiring for the offensive board. It's actually Zana, my apologies, but Koji fakes a pass, finds Nwam, quick catch and shoot, three in the corner. And again Zana. Koji trying to make the most bit of contact. He'll go to the free throw line. And now a chance to extend this to an 11-point Nigeria lead.
Well, great energy from Nigeria to start this game. They've been really active, pushing the ball in transition, attacking the O boards. This is the style of play they want to bring to this tournament. You see Koji with the highlight finish there.
Because I like his composure. You know, his NBA experience. He can easily come into his team and demand everything be about him. But you can clearly see, he is focused on this being a collective effort for the Tigers.
Well, he has to take a new role with this team. So, he's the primary ball handler. I think he's done a nice job of being a facilitator for everybody. Obviously in the NBA, more of a 3 and D wing, but showing his capabilities here at AfroBasket.
Well, Mekuwolu's left. Something happened he's bleeding. So something happened 2 possessions ago on defense. You saw he was a little, he took his time to get into the transition, but you can clearly see there's a cut just below the chin there. So now indeed, the lead has been extended here for Nigeria. 13-point cushion, 3-point play made by Josh Okogie. Now Mike Nugent subbed into the game for the first time. Tunisia trying to get into some form of a set, trying to build something. Now find it Toomey. Goes up against Zana. Just finds enough separation. That's a good move for him, and coach, he's got to step up big time tonight.
Well, the rookie out of Seton Hall really make a tough shot there. Had to create everything off the dribble there at the end of the shot clock. Again, Tunisia not really able to create open shots through their offense.
Agata coming off the screen. Now crossing over. Kicks out, finds Zana. That's an uncontested 3. Not going to go. Tunisia can't run. Then you hear just giving this one up, but Tunisia not able to get something quick. So 3:22 to go here in the first quarter. 11-point lead to Nigeria. Well, here's that move by Toomey, the rookie, as you mentioned. That's smooth. That is a smooth play, but he had to work his money to get that one off.
Yeah, it really did. Tough spin fadeaway there. If you're Tunisia, you're just trying to find any way to generate some open looks. It's been a dogfight for them so far in this game to try to generate some offense.
Emmanuel Mogbo also subbing in for Nigeria. Because we haven't seen, well, Stanakoye also has just subbed into the game, so the Tigers going through their full rotation in the first quarter. Abada. This is a circus shot, draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line.
Well, interesting too, you see Jaziri in the game here for Tunisia, did not play against Cameroon, so I'm sure Coach Marie is trying to figure out if there's anybody from this bench that can give them a little spark.
Well, Abada, as you mentioned, last season played for Club Africain Tunis. He's played 2 games in the BAL, the Basketball Africa League, where he did average 10 points in those 2 games, but next season, he'll be going to play for Rabat in Morocco. Second free throw good. So now Tunisia just putting on a bit of full court pressure. The coach sitting back in his own defense.
Yeah, a little 2-2-1 back to a 2-3. I like the decision there. You know, make Nigeria beat you with some perimeter shooting. They've had a hard time matching up one-on-one.
Well, they got a good look, but again, coming up with another offensive rebound. Tigers not necessarily having prominent three-point shooters apart from Okoye and Agata on the floor. They'll try another one. Still not going to go. Abada this time, preventing the offensive board. Benya here coming up with that ball screen. Nice dish. Finds Toomey, goes in, cutting it down to 7 points. And now he gets his second field goal.
Yeah, nice pass there from Ganuni. And again, just simple pick and roll, using that to break down the defense. Getting into the interior, nice drop off there.
He denies a screen. Finds a Mogbo. This is good passing from Nigeria. Agata finds a bit of a step back, goes in. Simply Mr. Automatic Clutch, whatever you like. He's Caleb Agata.
Well, he has been tremendous, not only in this AfroBasket tournament, but also in the qualification rounds.
Another foul has been called, so it will be another trip to the free throw line here for Tunisia. Here was the nice penetration, the dish off, and Toomey just seems like that intangible player, but here was the play by Caleb Agata. Look at this. 2025 BAL champion of the Basketball Africa League. And maybe, coach, 2025 it could be FIBA AfroBasket champion.
Well, he is playing at a high level. 22 points in their first game on 10 of 16 shooting, picking up where he left off, and he was tremendous in qualifications as well. So, you know, coming into this tournament with a ton of confidence, and you're seeing it on display here.
Well, Abada had to be arguably the go-to player for Tunisia in the qualifiers. Because he averaged 15 points. He was their most efficient player, along with Makram Ben Ramdan and Bilal Jaziri. But unfortunately, Ramdan not here. It's a 7-point deficit. Well, Okoji back into the lineup. Just staying in the zone. Nigeria going for another 3-ball. That one finding its way at the bottom of the rim. And beautiful passing by the Tigers.
A tough shot there from Mogbo. You know, I think in Tunisia, you're willing to live with that a little bit. I like the zone versus their man. Great take there from Agata. But the zone, I think, has been good. It's kept Nigeria out of the paint. They've had a hard time with their one-on-one matchups. Let's see if they stay with it.
Now with just over a minute to go. Okoji twisting, turning, goes in, finishing under intense pressure.
Great finish there from Okoji, and that's been the issue. When they're in their man-to-man, it's just been very hard for them to win the one-on-one matchup.
Well, Tunisia penetration kicking out. Abada, one more pass. Getting rejected. Okoji on both ends of the floor.
Great effort there from Nigeria. You see the activity and the multiple closeouts there, even on the pump fake. Everybody reacting there.
There's a Mogbo from the perimeter. Not necessarily one of their primary three-point shooters, but hey, if he's open, you got to take it.
Rebound!
Really towering for the rebound. Well, Okoji going for another 3, and at the moment, he is cooking. And next season, he's headed to the Houston Rockets.
Well, you know, if he's going to be making threes, it's going to be a long night for Tunisia. You know, again, I think their best bet is try to keep these drivers out of the lane as best they can, but big shot there from Okoji.
Well, the NBA experience that he brings his team now, that should be Tunisia. Okoji just trying to tell the officials that it should go the other way, but that was clear as daylight. Now, 6.8 left here in the first quarter, 5 on the shot clock for Tunisia.
Yeah, this is tricky. Not a lot of teams have a play that kind of is that sweet spot where you're taking the last shot here.
Still a bit of time. Abada goes back door. Makes an extra pass to that. Okoji right now being the rim protector.
You see the frustration there from Tunisia. They think they've got a wide open look, and you're just swallowed up by the Nigerian defenders.
Well, we end the first quarter with a 13-point lead to the FIBA AfroBasket 2015 champions. And I'm fortunate enough to be sat next to the coach of that team, Will Voigt. But, Coach, it has been the Josh Okogie show. 10 points, 4 rebounds, and now 2 blocks.
Well, he's been tremendous, both ends of the floor. You saw the big block there at the end of the quarter. But he has really been the catalyst for this team so far in the first quarter. You got to love the effort that they came out with. A lot of defensive ball pressure, getting out and running in transition.
Well, Tunisia 0 out of 4 from the perimeter. Nigeria 33%, but that is as it stands so far here. The Tigers lead by 13. Well, here are some of the top highlights. As mentioned, Okogie being that primary. I mean, sometimes you have him and a guard on the floor and they play primary, they play off guard. I mean, I like how they change it up when they are on the floor together.
Well, I mean, Okogie's really, I think, taken on that role as the primary playmaker. You know, not necessarily something asked of him in the NBA, but he's done a really nice job here in this game, distributing the ball, knocking open threes when he had the opportunity, and then really some impressive defensive plays.
Well, you can see the Tigers getting good looks onto that time with a sweet little Euro step, dissecting the Tunisian defense. That time, Stan Okoye, that was the one and only three-pointer by Josh Okogie. They don't seem to have too many problems getting good looks around the zone, but the Tigers will be wary of, especially in that game against Madagascar, of any potential run coming from their opponents. But basketball fans, scan that QR code today and get the Courtside 1891 app. Get the Courtside 1891 app where you can watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA basketball, as well as the build-up games to the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Courtside 1891. Download it today. Now, with Tunisia's defense and what we saw there in the first quarter, do you imagine they may start to come out of that zone a little bit more? Because it seems like Nigeria have no problem getting, good looks from the field.
Well, I think it's still the right approach. I think they've got to stay tight, try to keep Nigeria out of the paint. It's been really hard for them with their one-on-one matchups. Nigeria's been able to break down their initial defender pretty easily. So I think you just stay compact, whether that's zone or man, force them to beat you from the outside, and see if maybe some missed perimeter shots can lead to some transition offense.
Sideline possession. Tunisia will have the first play of the second quarter. Looks like we're just having a slight technical issue that will be resolved, I imagine, very quickly. Again, we do apologize, basketball fans. I believe it is just a minor technical issue. We are ready to get things well. The Egyptian coaching staff, El Dakani, probably feeling very confident off that big victory last night against Senegal. Foul is going to be called against Christian Mekawolu. He's just returning to the game after receiving that cut. Just on the bottom chin in his lower jaw, but maybe it's not on Mekawolu. Maybe it's on Eke.
I'm not sure. Somebody definitely reaching in there. Nice little double drag set to start the second quarter. I think they're going to need more screening action to try to loosen up some of this ball pressure.
Tunisia, time is winding down. Another high screen coming. Well, Ganuni going nowhere, and a blocking foul is going to be called. And that one's going to be called against Ugo Simon, so that's going to be his first personal foul, and already, I think that is, second team foul against Nigeria.
Yeah, and you see Ugo Simon with the body there. Really interesting story. I was talking to some of the players before this game. Ugo Simon spending his junior years in Bologna. So he was in their junior program, spent a lot of time in Italy. They had training camp, Nigeria did, in Nigeria before coming here. And that was the first time in 6 years that Ugo Simon had seen his family. So
wow,
I'm sure really emotional reunion for him.
Second free throw, no good for Ganuni. Still a 12-point lead to Nigeria. Mekawolu coming high here for the screen with Okogie. Okoye, he can make things wide open. Tunisia want to get something. They do have numbers. No foul called this time. Wilson turning at another foul, so another trip to the free throw line. That's going to be team foul number 3. We haven't even played a minute so far here in the second quarter.
Well, this is a promising start to the quarter. I think if you're Tunisia, seeing Nigeria get these early fouls, maybe you could use that pressure against them, try to get to the free throw line. Really looked like a Koji initially, you know, with the body right there. Surprised that that wasn't whistled, but still able to get to the line here.
Well, this man actually played high school basketball in New York and then went to Fairfield University for 3 years. Now, he went to switch to Central Connecticut State, but quickly after that, in 2021, he signed with US Monastir, one of the top pro teams, if not the very best team in Tunisia.
Well, Monastir, definitely one of the top clubs in all of Africa. Nani getting some valuable experience collegiately in the U.S., but also making his AfroBasket debut here. So another player gaining valuable experience in this tournament.
Well, he's also a BAL champion in 2022, so we have quite a few BAL champions, Coach.
Yeah, we really do. It pains me to say that Monastir team, so when I was coaching Zamalek, we only lost 1 game in the entire BAL, but that 1 game was the semifinals against Monastir, and they went on to win the championship. So a lot of these players I'm familiar with.
I'm sorry for bringing that up, by the way.
You can see me getting a little teary-eyed.
Spanish pick and roll sequence being executed. Kanuni catching a tough one, but still gets a shot up. Koji coming up with a rebound now. The Tigers have numbers. Mekawolu wants a lob, but Koji's going to go himself. And he rewards himself with a trip to the free throw line. Unfortunate not to convert the three-point play. But, Coach, the Tigers play at a different pace. They play a tempo that many teams are going to struggle with here at the FIBA AfroBasket.
Well, it's a good push from Koji and the right decision. The defense never fully committing. Tunisia caught with some poor floor balance on that shot. So Kanuni, the shooter, was the only player back for them. I'm sure not a great sight to see 3 athletic Nigerians on fast break coming down the court.
Koji's had some very sporadic seasons in terms of free throw percentages in the NBA. If you think about when he last played with the Phoenix Suns and Charlotte Hornets, his percentages went from 61 to 77. Now, of course, you have to consider the volume free throw shooting it would take, of course, but right now he's having a very good game for Nigeria. Nigeria switching. Another take, no foul called in. Coach, looking at Nigeria defending that dribble handoff, and you know, you mentioned this many times, is that the 1-through-5 switching that we sometimes see?
Well, you know, Nigeria's got a lot of flexibility defensively. They can come with different lineups. A lot of these guys able to switch comfortably. But I do like the ball screening action. I think it'll help loosen up some of the ball pressure that Tunisia struggled with.
Mekawolu comes up with it. Nigeria have numbers. Nice pass, and here we go. But good recovery defense. And that's the hot hustle and desire Tunisia needs right now if they want to remain in this game as they trail by 14.
That's a great effort there from Toomey to sprint back, save the basket there.
That could easily have become a 16-point lead. But Tunisia not giving up. Okoye goes quickly back door. There you have it. Well, it's as simple as that for the Tigers, Coach.
A really easy set there, but a nice job of Okoye on the slip. Caused some confusion on the switch with those defenders, and Okoye able to capitalize with the layup.
It's a post-up inside the paint. Well, they need a little bit of that or more from him. My set is should come from Achi, but any points in the paint from the post is going to help Tunisia.
Yeah, I think at this stage, just trying to find any contribution offensively is well received.
A great defensive presence by Achi. Mekawolu was in the paint for quite a while. Toomey finds an opening, goes in, hangs. Kicks out, this is a big 3, it's up. Found his way in, but Mekawolu gathering the rebound. You can see Coach Marie telling his players, get back right away.
Well, I think it's better, though. They're finding a little bit of success here with the early pick and rolls, able to get downhill kick it out, get the defense rotating. So, you know, I think they've stumbled across something to continue with.
Koji waiting for that high screen from Mekawolu. He's trying to fight around it. Good defense. Finds Okoye. He kicks out. The Tigers getting good looks here. Wants a step back three. And I don't know what else Tunisia's supposed to do, Coach.
Well, Ugo Simon making things difficult for himself. Had an open catch and shoot corner three from Okoye's drive. Instead, had to make the tough step back off the dribble.
Well, that's an open three, but nothing falling. And that's as good as it's going to get for Tunisia. They've got to keep taking those open looks. The foul is going to be called, so Koji will go to the free throw line.
And Oshie has to jump there, so he's in the restricted area, keeps his feet on the ground, so any contact that's made in there, that's going to be a call on him. So you see right there, if he can stay vertical and just jump straight up, he's going to make that a really difficult finish for Koji.
Well, here's a step back. They've made 4 out of 13 so far here in the first half from the three-point line, but interesting here for Nigeria. This is only going to be their 4th free throw attempt of the night. And guess what? All free throws have been taken by this man.
Yeah, well, they've done a nice job into the paint. Haven't really forced too much there. Found some nice kickouts to the perimeter.
Well, he's 5 rebounds already away from a potential double-double. She, of course, just having some struggles here on the offense, but still scoreless so far. Omar Abada is still Tunisia's leading scorer, only with 6 points. 19-point lead to the Tigers. Now he penetrates, goes in, avoids the block, and finally Ochi getting his first field goal and second chance points. Yeah, should be a priority.
Nice tip in there from Oshie, and again, just a simple high pick and roll. They find the wing there on a shake-up cut. He's able to attack that closeout. So I think this is the answer for them. Stay simple with their offense, see if they can get downhill from a ball screen and then play from there.
Well, nice little Euro step, and Koji goes in, and he makes it look easy, but Coach, the defense giving everything they can at him.
Well, he is in fine form right now, showing why he's an NBA veteran. Really nice take there.
Well, look at this. That is simply B-E-A beautiful move by Josh Okogie. The Euro step.
Yeah, he's so strong with the ball, too. You see the defender kind of flying out of the way. He's able to bounce off of these guys pretty easily. And that's where they've had the advantage. Their one-on-one matchups, they're really able to break their guy down on the perimeter. I think if you're Tunisia, you got to think about maybe going back to the zone, at least forcing them to beat you from the perimeter.
Obata's got 6 points. Unable to get another one. Just turning it over. Okoye's got numbers. Here we go. Well, maybe put a little bit too much on that. Okoye goes for another 3 in the corner. That's up, no good. And Mekawolu unable to save it. But you like the tempo Nigeria's playing at.
Well, great job of pushing. You know, if you're Coach Abdul Rahman, you want to see them capitalize there. 4-on-1 fast break. The lob to Okogie a little low. And that was a wasted opportunity.
Well, Tubi comes up with it. Check this one out. They haven't made a 3 tonight. That's going to go out of bounds. Getting the top of the backboard.
77.
He's got some wide open looks, but they just won't go in tonight.
Well, you know, credit Nigeria. I mean, there are multiple efforts defensively. They're constantly flying at you. But if you're Tunisia, you have to have the patience to continue to move the ball, continue to make them close out. I think they have been generating some open looks recently, so I think it is some improvement, but just unable to knock them down so far.
Well, the coach, he's been cooking so far. He'll go for another one, and they say Houston is clutch city, and right now, Josh Okogie is clutch.
He is having an unbelievable performance. You know, his man in that gap trying to help on the drive. I think typically that would be the right coverage, but Okogie just really on fire right now.
Obata got it by Mekawolu. 6 points. Still can't finish. Okoye comes up with it. He's got a Koji to his left. Well, go for another one, maybe. Pump fakes. Finds Nwamu. One more pass. Unselfish play, but again it rejected. Good defense. But can Tunisia with numbers get something on the counterattack? And that will just do their confidence a lot of good.
Yeah, it's a good finish there. Good patience from Marnawi. I think we're going to see them in the 2-3 zone now.
Lagata, who was their leading scorer in their opening game, is back in the lineup. Nakawolu will try a three-pointer. As you can see, Jawadi trying to go all the way and missing the layup, but the follow-up by Toomey and a 4-0 run by Tunisia. And a timeout is going to be called by Nigeria. They want to talk this one over. Still leading by 18 points with 4:06 to go here in the second quarter. We're going to head down to the bench to find out what the coaching staff have to say.
Nigeria. 43 for Nigeria, 25 Tunisia.
Yeah. It makes a big difference, doesn't it? Transition defense. Get behind.
We had a defensive breakdown, right? We said nothing too easy, nothing too early, right? Somebody gotta command the ball, pick up the ball, and then we get somebody in the paint. That's 2 straight layups on transition. We can't afford to give that up, all right? Hey, we had them down, so just keep them down, all right? Don't give them any room to start coming back.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So let's go, let's go. Remember, transition, command ball, protect the paint. That's the rule, okay?
Hey, this is not a good finishing team. They shoot. So we don't need weak side guys trying to block shots. If the man ain't beat, let him wall up, and we get the rebound on the backside. She goes in.
Zone. Whoever is the one, come down here. 2 got the ball, right? Corner, right? KO. You standing right here, pin down, can go either way, right? Hit the ball, screen, space. We've been getting that shot for Josh right there.
Let's go. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3.
After 2 seasons at Georgia Tech, drafted in the 2018 NBA draft with the 20th pick in the first round, Josh Okoye at the moment is cooking for Niger.
He's been tremendous and really letting the game come to him. So as hot as he's been from the perimeter, he hasn't forced anything. He's done a nice job of not only scoring but distributing. A tremendous first half here.
Well, he is headed to the Rockets next season. He signed that 1-year deal in Houston, so it's going to be interesting to see. I think most importantly right now for his national team. Well, go for another 3. Kabundu back in the lineup. It's going to be a quick ball violation, so Tunisia currently on that 4-0 run. There's a target for them, coach, in this next 3:52, and they're on this 4-0 run. Can they cut it down to 10 points or less?
Just gotta keep chipping away at it. They found a couple transition opportunities early on. I like just the simple pick and roll here they've been going to. See if they can get this defense in rotation.
Still 3-pointless. Just hasn't worked out for them from the 3-point line. Nigeria just want to keep on piling on more pressure. Lagata finds Nwamu. One more pass. Here we go. Baseline. My goodness. The Niger-style baseline.
Wow, what a finish there from Ibanu. And he's returning from injury. He has not played competitively in over 2 years. His first games here at AfroBasket. What a finish there.
Well, another turnover. Well, 2 seasons ago, playing in the B-League for Niigata Albirex. And that is the baseline. Igbanu Niger flush. You gotta love it. One-handed. And no help side defense is gonna stop that man.
Yeah, what a finish there. You see the athleticism, just one dribble flushes it on the weak side help. Great finish there from Igbanu.
What was that injury? Did actually pick up in the Japanese B-League. That time. Well, we're gonna have a timeout now. Let's listen to what coach has to say.
Foul. 5 fouls. They score 40 points, 45 points. We do 5 fouls. Physicality. On zone, on man-man, whatever. We need to step up the energy, the individual responsibility first. When there is pick and roll, we go man-man. Here, contact. High and slide back. But contact and good tag. Ready not to stunt too early, but when we stunt, we stunt. Let's go.
On n'a rien à perdre, on n'a rien à perdre. Mais tu ouvres le score, voilà.
Oh, is it fair to say that timeout, the message, really a matter of pride right now? I mean, he mentioned 45 points. We haven't given away 5 fouls.
Well, Coach Marie is certainly trying to fire up his troops, but you can hear some of the tactical plans too. So he wants his defenders to really get in the ball at the point of the ball screen, but then slide underneath. So it'll be interesting to see here. It looks like they're going to extend the pressure a little bit.
20-point lead to Nigeria. Agata denies a screen. There's a kick out, finds Dwamu. Now he's made 1 3 already. This time it goes out of bounds, so the Tigers will get it back. Nani just tumbling to the ground. Now, could be an argument for a foul there, but it will be Nigeria's ball nonetheless.
Well, a good job from Igbanu crashing here, making it difficult.
What we got?
Fresh 14 for Nigeria. Oh, get him rejected. Is this the FIBA AfroBasket or the FIBA Volley Basket?
That was pretty close to
Yeah.
a goaltend. Looked like that ball was on its way down. But maybe this can spark Tunisia in some way. So Nani showing a little bit of fire here in these last 2 possessions.
Well, I think a head coach's challenge is going to be cool. I think this could very well go see our referees. Just head over to the monitor to find out if any change needs to happen, because you saw head coach Abdurrahman Muhammad call for the challenge. Now he's having a discussion with the referee.
You see Coach Abdul Rahman, my assistant coach for that 2015 AfroBasket championship team, and I think this would be a good challenge. So I know he's discussing it. He wants the referees to look at it on their own, but you know, I think when you know you're going to get 2 points, it's worth using the challenge now. Looks like he's going to keep it in the pocket.
Well, they do have that 20-point cushion. 10 here on the shot clock. 2:45 to go in the second quarter. Ogata goes backcourt. Akowundu getting a hand up with Nwamu. Bottom trying to ISO. Bumps goes in, too strong off the backboard. Just surviving this play. Quite a hard screen by Achi. Then Nani goes baseline. That's the kick out, but that is unfortunate. I want to save this. Because, Coach, if he let that roll out of bounds, that would have been Nigeria ball on the baseline.
Yeah, that's correct. Manani, nice drive. You know, the backcourt violation should probably be on the side. Looks like the officials. Yeah, I'm surprised the officials are a little bit of a mistake there. But Manani with the right drive, you just got to get under control and find the kick out.
Well, the 3 no good. Tunisia comes up with it. They had the numbers. Down the middle, goes in, throws it down one hand. And they needed some form of inspiration.
Well, great pass there from Abada, and the thunder finish from Manani. Really like his intensity over the last couple of minutes, trying to rally his teammates to fight back into this game.
Gotta miss it. Manani coming up with a rebound. Now looking to push. Giovanni kicking out, but inadvertently throwing it right to Nigeria. Just when they were trying to build some momentum. There's the bump. That's gonna be a blocking foul, so 2 free throws coming up for Igbanu.
Well, that's a tough call there. I've got to see if he's standing in the restricted area. And Nani again trying to come up with a play for his team. Just a ill-advised pass from Jawadi.
Well, there he is down the middle. That's why, what's the old saying, Coach? Your bigs always become trailers.
Well, it's a nice job of running the floor there. You know, he's really brought a lot of effort to this game. Maybe a little upset about not getting the starting nod, but he's come off the bench and been really one of the lone bright spots so far for Tunisia in this game.
We should mention Igbanu. It was 2 seasons ago where he did start with Niigata Albirex in the 2nd division of the Japanese B-League, and that moved to Tokyo where he picked up that injury. He was out for quite a while. That's a long time to be out.
Yeah, it really is. You know, trying to find your rhythm as a player in these competitive games, and you know, to have to come back in one of the most physical tournaments there is, certainly a challenge for Igbanu, but he seems like he's moving really well out there, probably starting to find his rhythm offensively as well.
Second free throw made. 19-point lead still to the Tigers. Tunisia, three-time champions of the FIBA AfroBasket. Nigeria, along with Coach Will Voigt, winning in 2015 for the first time. Nigeria looking good here, trying to go 2-0. She's going in. A little bit of a fingertip there from Akabundu. And now Agata wants to run. Well, Agata had a wrap there, but Coach, it did look like Agata had a wrap around the hip, I think, of Omar Abada, but another foul is going to be called against Tunisia, and that's going to put Nigeria back at the free throw line.
Yeah, I think they've got Jaziri here, a little bit too much body. And, unbelievable block there. Akambondo is such a great athlete. You see Jaziri just a little bit too much body, but nice job of sprinting back, trying to stop that fast break.
Well, Agata, born and raised in Nigeria, moved to Canada at a very young age, went to the University of Ottawa, spent some time playing, of course, in the CEBL, where he played for the Hamilton Honey Badgers. Sort of a very decorated international career, this young man.
Well, you know, you mentioned it earlier, leading Ali Tripoli to the BAL championship. So really having a tremendous 2025.
2 championships in a calendar season, that would be monumental. Jaziri has a three-point look and finally getting the first three-pointer for Tunisia. And can that give them anything to build their identity on offense?
Well, I like what Jaziri and Metnani have brought to this game coming off the bench. A little bit of energy and fight that's been lacking from some of these other Tunisian players.
Agata almost turning it over. Nigeria get it back. They'll go for 3. 8 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Agata's on the ground, but Abada goes in. He bumps it somehow, some way, falling to the ground, and a prayer was answered. And he will go to the charity stripe to try and cut this down.
Well, that's a tough finish there from Jawadi. You can see probably had a corner kick out that you know, Abada missed earlier, but Jawadi through the contact, throws it up there with the left hand. Really tough finish.
Well, that was off balance, tumbling to the ground. Igbana's going to be called for the foul. So Jawadi could actually cut this down to a 15-point deficit if he converts his three-point play. It looks like Josh Okoji is going to come in for Igbanu. Not sure what some defensive error probably there that has led to Igbanu being subbed out. But so far he's played with very good energy. He's given a lot so far to this team.
Yeah, well, you know, he's upset about something. You could see the veterans, Zana and Koji, trying to get him to calm down a little bit. Even the Federation president there for the side trying to get him to play under control. So I think this is a good sub from Abdul Rahman. Let Igbanu calm down a little bit, make sure nothing crazy happens at the end of this half.
Timeout is called. We'll be back in just under 1 minute, and we'll head down to Nigeria's bench to hear what he has to say.
Hey, fuck these refs. Hey, fuck these refs, bro.
We're still good. All right?
Runs.
We're good. It's about runs. We're good. We're good.
They ain't gonna give us no call today. They ain't gonna give us call this whole fucking tournament. Stop talking to these
Stay
niggas,
locked
man.
in. Stay locked in. Stay locked in.
I don't want to talk to him. Now, tell me something I come here.
Stay locked in. We're going our way for Ike. Ike, come on. Hit. Touch it right back. Touch it right back for Josh. Touch it right back right here. KO, turn back around. Say the first one for Josh. Now go clean Ike up. Ike got a shot right here. Play dead. Play dead. Then you change space.
Bro, come on, let's jump on these dudes, bro. Come on.
Let's go. Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
But we want the last shot.
Step to the basket too.
But we want the last shot though. So let's go out. Let's go out 10.
Well, Caleb Agata so far 9 points. Remember, he was their leading scorer in their opening victory against Madagascar. But, you know, Coach, what I like about him, he just has that ability to create his own shot under very high pressurized circumstances.
Well, he's very comfortable with African basketball. having just finished up a great season with Ahali Tripoli. You can see he's really confident out there, creating off the dribble, knocking down some big shots.
Well, they're not going to advance the ball because that would take it to 14 on the shot clock. So, as mentioned, Nigeria want the final play. Koji's led them so far in this game. Well, they want to go to Nwamu. Nwamu's now got 5. Got it by Abada. Step back, goes for the 3, it's up. No good. And that will do the end of the first half with Nigeria, who've led by as many as 21, now lead by 15 against the 2-time defending champions, 3-time in total, Tunisia. Oh, Coach, Tunisia right now, there's a bit of inspiration in the final minutes of that second quarter, but you got to ask the question, only 1 3-point field goal made. They've got to find other ways to score in this game.
Well, you know, early on, they struggled to really create any open shot. Thought they did a much better job in the second quarter. Were able to get into the paint a little bit through the ball screens, and when they kicked it out, those shooters definitely need to start knocking these shots down. But a little bit of life there at the end. I liked what Jaziri and Metnani brought to the floor. Great competitive spirit from the two of them, and let's see if they can continue that in the second half.
Nigeria currently 6 out of 23 from the three-point line, 11 out of 16 from inside the rainbow. Just slightly leading in the 2 important categories. 6 turnovers already for Tunisia. Nigeria only with 2, of course. Well, it's been the Josh Okogie show, the only player in double figures, in my word, with 19 points. He's been magnificent. Well, we'll take a look at the highlights from the first half. Well, right from the get-go, there was the intelligence by Stan Okoye, one of your former players, Coach Will, on that backdoor play, and the Niger players loving every moment. But this is what you want to see from Tunisia. Some of that back-to-the-basket post-up. Metnani just showing the old-school work.
Well, you know, I've seen a lot of good toughness out of him. I mean, sometimes it's just that. Nigeria trying to maybe intimidate with their defensive pressure early in the game. You could see some of the Tunisian players a little bit rattled. I thought Metnani did a nice job of playing with confidence there in the second quarter.
Well, that was a step-back three-pointer coming from Ugo Simon, his only field goal of the game as of yet. The Euro step by Josh Okogie, and as mentioned, he signed a 1-year contract for the 2025-26 NBA regular season for the Houston Rockets. So now in his veteran years, drafted by the Timberwolves, but you also want to see this more from Tunisia. Points in transition.
Well, they found a couple of opportunities there in the second quarter, pushing off of missed shots from Nigeria. The challenge has been getting Nigeria to miss. You see the tremendous finish there from the bottom, but it's been a struggle for them defensively. Nigeria's really had their way with them. Had a hard time containing them one-on-one in their man-to-man, and when they went to the zone, Okogie hitting a couple of big threes.
Jawadi getting the and-one. That was when Igbanu went to the bench. Well, fans, that is the end of the first half. We will indeed return in just under 13 minutes for the second.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Inside they go, cleared out. Badrouche shot falls in. Nassim Badrouche extracts 3 under immense pressure, able to knock in that 3-ball. Salvez drops off to Kokila. Drame says no. The home team, another turnover. Ahead it goes. Miguel to De Souza. Ducks it home.
Kanute going behind the back. Out of control. Kamagu comes up with a rebound. Now the young 18-year-old fighting dead, good hands, and Uganda getting first 2 points.
Yeah, great start to the game there.
So look at that post entry. They were coming from the weak side. Well, is that going to be a rebound or an assist for Togo?
By dang, whoa, wow. That is met up top and taken away. Diakite's pass tipped by Dundao into free flow. Drop ball! Valente drops in the dunk.
Oh, way to start as the fans are on their seat.
Who can step up? There's a backdoor play. Hangs in another block. Well, coach has become the Mali block party at the moment.
Well, their defense has been impressive. Nothing going for Uganda right now.
Kanute has made 1 3, and he'll sink another one. That piles further misery against Uganda. Now officially a 14-point lead. Something about this Mali team that really, catches the eye.
Driving the layup. Well, 2 defenders around, and now it is Fernando to Dundao. Pass back! Sent it in by Bruno Fernando.
Just a great ball movement from Angola and the bang out dunk.
And here comes Shusha. Good hands by Boissy. Senegal come up with it. Here's the pass. Look out. And wow, baby. Wow, baby. And he's going to the free throw line for the 3-point play.
Oh my goodness, what a finish there.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back, basketball fans. Live here in Luanda, Angola at the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket, the 31st edition of this magnificent tournament. We're heading into the second half of this magnificent game between both Nigeria and Tunisia. But currently it's a 15-point lead to the champions of 2015. Well, Tunisia currently at the moment being led by this man Toumi, but not a single player in this game in double figures other than Josh Okogie, coach.
Yeah, I mean, for Tunisia, it's really been a struggle offensively, especially that first quarter. Had a hard time getting anything going early on. I think they found a little bit of a rhythm with the ball screen game, getting downhill, finding some kickouts, but unable to convert on those open looks from 3.
Well, as mentioned, Yassine Toumi leading the way with 6 points, also has 6 rebounds, so he's 4 and 4 away from a potential double-double. While for the Tigers, it's one name that's coming to mind, and that's Josh Okogie. He has been simply unstoppable.
He's been tremendous. Really an incredible first half. He's only forced 1 shot. I don't know if you could even say forced it, but he just really let the game come to him. The threes he made, open catch and shoot threes. He's getting downhill, finding his teammates. He's really showing why he's an NBA caliber player here at this tournament.
Well, he's got 19 tonight. He's also near a double-double. He needs 5 more rebounds and 9 assists to get to a potential triple-double. But like I said, I think he would just rather the Tigers go 2-0 after that quite convincing victory in the fourth quarter against Madagascar. But, well, there'll be an exciting game for them afterwards as they'll take on Cameroon, but take nothing away from Tunisia. Listen, they're only down 15. They've got to find something if they want to be able to compete in this AfroBasket, coach.
Well, I mean, that's it, right? Really struggling to find any kind of rhythm here offensively when they've been able to generate open looks. They haven't been able to knock them down. I'm a little concerned looking at the body language of this team. So, you know, this is a national team that's used to winning. I think starting this tournament out the way that they have, somebody's going to have to rally them emotionally, see if they can find a little bit of life here in the second half.
So, you know, you've been in this situation. You've coached with great teams over the past, especially here in the FIBA AfroBasket, not only Nigeria, but also Angola. You've been in these situations. It's halftime. Your team just hasn't got any confidence. They've only made one three-point field goal. What would be your message to your players at halftime?
Well, again, I think it starts with the body language. So, you know, you got to have a belief that you can win, and that's usually been the strength of Tunisia. Right now, starting to see some cracks in the armor here. So there's so many guys making their debut in this tournament. Really liked what Jaziri and Metnani brought to the floor. If I'm Coach Mari, I would be thinking heavily about starting those guys, see if they can inject a little bit of fight into the rest of the group.
And while for Nigeria, it's been 10 long years since you guys, well, I say you guys when you were there and you led them to that FIBA AfroBasket championship. You look at this team. You know, you've mentioned that of all the FIBA continental competitions, the America Cup, the EuroBasket, Asia Cup, now here the AfroBasket, this is anybody's tournament. It's so balanced, as you said, Coach.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, so many teams can make a legitimate claim at being a contender for the championship. I know Nigeria came here expecting to be one of those. A little bit of a slow start against Madagascar, but you take the second half of that game, combine that with the first half of this game, and they've been as dominant as anyone here.
Well, as mentioned, another half to play with just under 4 minutes away from getting this one back underway. But, you know, if there are some areas where you would predict Tunisia are going to be able to chip into this deficit, is it going to be from the perimeter? I mean, they only were 1 for 10 from downtown. Could it be a transition? Would it be second chance points? I mean, where do you see them realistically finding any form of identity against this dominant Nigerian defense?
Well, they've got to make shots, obviously, to have a chance. I think some of the looks they got in the second quarter were good ones. But, you know, continue that pick and roll game, see if they can get the defense rotating a little bit. And I think for them defensively, you know, you're going to have to live with something. And I think against this Nigerian team, probably your best bet is to stay really compact defensively, make them beat you from the perimeter. If there's one thing that Nigeria struggled with that first half, just 6 of 24 from the three-point line. So really you take Josh Okogie's 2 threes out of that mix, and it's been a bit of a struggle on the perimeter for them.
Well, Okogie, the talking point of this game, of course, one of his other teammates who's also playing very well, Caleb Agata, he has 9 points. He was their leading scorer in that opening victory against Madagascar. You know, most recently winning the BAL, the BAL, the Basketball Africa League Championship with Tripoli, and next season heading to the Spanish ACB with Forcieda. You think this backcourt duo, they're probably, you know, 2 of the most exciting players of any backcourt duo here in the AfroBasket.
Well, they've been playing at a high level. So yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry, you saw Agata in his scoring display. And today, now Okogie. But, you know, these are guys with a lot of experience, definitely have been on this stage and are delivering so far for the Tigers.
Well, another player who's been very impressive for Nigeria, Akabundu. I mean, he's been relentless. There is no question about it whatsoever. He's a high fly, a human highlight, if you like. And of course, he had a very impressive career at the University of Texas at Arlington. And next season, he's also heading to the ACB to play with Baxi Manresa. So you definitely can see the elite level of not only NBA talent within this Nigerian team, but also players playing at a very high international standard within Europe.
Well, Akabundu finishing his college career at University of Memphis and played with the Denver Nuggets in Summer League this summer in Las Vegas before he joined the national team. So no question, he's got the athleticism to play at the highest level.
In the incident to talk, coach silence, we keep quiet. Because they said everybody is talking to the referee. That's what the match commissioner said. We gotta, you know, try to control the bench a little bit, okay? KO, grab a seat.
All right, here's what we got. We got Hans down. Josh, KO, Ike, Zana, Caleb got ball. this is a ghost, right? Don't even just tap him or something, like get out. KO, clean him off. Kill him. Act like you're going downhill. Shot is going to be open. If it's not open, wrist screen. That one is going to be open. We're missing that one. Play dead. Home. Right, come up. If you don't have, you want to come up on this side? You want to flip it? No, I'm cool. You good? Okay. If it's not open, wrist screen, KO. Just go downhill. Stay space. Right, pull behind. Caleb.
Well, we're about to get the second half back underway. Nigeria still leading by 15 points against Tunisia. Jawadi back on the floor, so also with Amar about it. Now, you also heard from the coach of Nigeria the word ghost. Well, first of all, basketball fans, make sure you use that QR code to scan and get the Courtside 1891 app. Get the Courtside 1891 app where you can get live streams and extended highlights from FIBA international games and also the warm-up games in preparation for the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Courtside 1891. Download it today. Now, going back to what Coach said, the word ghost. I don't think he was talking about a friendly one or the ghost of Christmas past. It's a screen action, of course.
Well, you're going to see the guard slip out here. So horns down. He'll start in a horn set. The guard's going to slip out from here, and then sounds like they're going to go to a wide pin down after this.
Well, there's the ghost action with the Koji. Akabundu coming up that screen. The Koji's got 19. They haven't had a very consistent night from the perimeter. Coach, if there's one area that does concern me about Nigeria to being, lifting the championship here, and it's the same, you could criticize it of any team here in the AfroBasket, the consistency from the three-point line.
Well, certainly, Koji with the air ball there, and it's been a struggle so far in this game. Everything else clicking, but I think that's the one Achilles heel for this team. Can they consistently make enough perimeter shots to make it all the way to the finals here?
Well, they are going to call a foul, and that's going to be against Koji. Now, I just wonder, they're calling 2 free throws, so Jawadi was in the process of shooting the ball.
See his hit on the back of the head there as he's trying to finish, and Tunisia going back to that simple middle pick and roll. So maybe an adjustment needed here from Nigeria. Could see them potentially going to some switching or even looking to aggressively trap these.
Well, Jawadi playing for Club Africain Tunis. Spent their last season. Free throw converted. Nigeria just seeing that 21-point lead now cut down to 13. Two-time defending champions. Need to be very patient here in the second half if they want to get back in this one. Koji finds Akabundu but turns it over. Now Tunisia, they have numbers. Obata gives up. The transition hustle coming from Akabundu and company, just making that transition impossible for Tunisia.
Well, great job there of Akabundu sprinting back, getting the block, but a nice job from Tunisia there, finding some transition opportunities now through their defense.
Obata's got it with 13 on the shot clock. Then you hear coming up with a high screen. Jawadi penetrates, avoids the block. It's a good move, but he's got to finish. And the Tigers come up with it. Koji wants to go the length of the floor, goes in, another ramp one. And now he'll go to the free throw line yet again for the Tigers.
Well, that is a tremendous finish there from Koji. You can see Tunisia trying to take a foul, not physical enough with that. He's just slicing his way through the defenders.
I mean, he's unstoppable. The thing about him is, physically, he's not as big as most of the players on the floor, but you feel like he gets to the rim because he just processes the game a little bit quicker than everyone else.
Well, he's built like a running back in American football, so he's really put together. Solid guy, can play 1 through 4 in the NBA, so very strong player. And at the point guard position, not a lot of guards that are going to be able to contain him downhill.
16-point lead. Obata, bit of contact, separation. That's good from him. Now moving up his point tally because he was their leading scorer, but that's his first field goal since the first quarter.
And again, Tunisia able to capitalize on these drops from Nigeria. I really would think about switching up the ball screen coverage if I were them.
So they're trying to collapse in the paint every time Nigeria go to these ball screen scenarios, but still the margin, 14 points. Kabundu. The three by the Tigers. That's not going to go. Just got to find the consistency, build the rhythm. Obata penetrates. There's a nice backdoor play. But Jawadi goes in. Well, Jawadi probably should have taken that one because Obata wasn't in good position.
Yeah, Jawadi needs to finish that, but it's better offense from Tunisia. You're seeing multiple drive and kick situations. They've been able to get by their primary defenders through that ball screen, so.
Oh, what a take by Akoji. Single-handedly dominating this game, hanging in the air.
That's a great finish there, but Tunisia's got to put bodies in front of him. I know he hit the 2 catch and shoot threes, but you got to live with whatever he does on the perimeter off the dribble.
Well, tons of points scoring. It's a dominant performance by Josh Akoji. Now the Tigers want to run. Akoji, one more pass. Lama goes baseline. Finds Zada. I feel like someone's got to show it. It goes all the way around to Akoji. Now pulls up in the mid-range, but that's good pull movement by the Tigers. And another steal by Nigeria. A bit of contact, no foul called. Tunisia's got a 3-on-2. Jawadi kicks out to Obata. It's almost like Tunisia just cannot get anything in transition now. Akoji's ahead. Akoji goes in, elevates. And again, no foul called.
Well, that's clearly a foul there. You can see Akoji's frustration.
Well, Akoji wants another crack at it. Well, he'll go for 3. It's up. Well, still infuriated with the previous play. And things getting a little bit out of hand now, Coach.
Oh, well, that was a really strange possession there. So you had Ben Yahia down with an injury. He pops back up at the tail end to seemingly foul Akoji. No call made there, but really rough exchange on both ends. And Ben Yahi's still down right now.
Well, Akoji's got 24 points, still has 5 rebounds. And still dominating here for this Nigerian team. It's the biggest lead of the game for the Tigers. Because you mentioned back in that 2015 AfroBasket, you played them, it was in the group stage, wasn't it, where you lost them originally?
We did. They were the hosts, tremendous team. And we lost them in the group stage, but in a lot of ways, it was exactly what we needed. They were able to show some of the areas we needed to improve on in order to be a championship team, and thankfully we were able to go on and win that tournament.
Remember, that's the only time Nigeria's won the FIBA AfroBasket. Nigeria have numbers again. Norma finds Akoji. Made his last 3, goes for another one. This may have taken a little bit too much time to get that shot off. Toomey in the paint. There's a pump fake. Jawadi. Nigeria closing out at all costs. Well, someone's got to shoot it. Toomey goes in, avoids a block, and he had to really work for that play.
Well, that's great ball movement there from Tunisia, forcing Nigeria into multiple closeouts. That's how they're going to have to play. I mean, Nigeria does a great job of multiple efforts, so it's not going to be the first drive and kick that's going to get you the open shot.
They just got to keep on playing. Remember, Tunisia still have to play Madagascar. The way that this game is going, that potentially could be the game that decides third place here in Group B. But exciting things have happened so far here in the AfroBasket. Jawadi gets it off in time. It's still nothing going. Very bland third quarter here for Tunisia. Agata looking for an ISO. Penetrates, pump fakes, goes in. Hey, Coach, neither team here in the first 5 minutes really able to establish that consistent rhythm of that identity in their offense.
Yeah, it's been a little sloppy here to start this half out. You know, Tunisia They got to look up at the scoreboard. As bad as they've been playing, the game is still within reach.
Well, still plenty of time left. 17-point deficit. For Tunisia, getting it close to 10 points going into that fourth quarter. Obata now pulls up in the mid-range. Good look for him, but only Ochi contesting for an offensive board. As you can see Jawadi just trying to keep close here with Nuja. Nwamu. Finally three, extending this one back to 20 points. The Tigers cruising. As now Coach Mehdi Marie calling timeout Tunisia. It's tough, Coach. It's tough because we keep asking the questions. Let's zone defense. Too much time and space for Nwamu.
Well, got a little overextended there in his help position. I don't think he has to be quite that far up, especially when he has Nwamu in that slot. But overall, I think that's the right mentality.
Doesn't matter what we call, when we get paid touch and kick out, we keep driving all the time, okay? Defensively, communicate, a lot of communication to be sure we're on the same page. To me, you go Luta, you go ice and drop. Communicate, we're on the same page, okay? When there is 2-on-1 on the weak side, we stunt and recover, and we come back, okay? Hey, we stick together, okay? When we can run, we run. If not, ball back, Omar, you can call. Okay, we can have one, we can have five down, multiple calls. Okay, let's go.
Well, Tunisia will keep on believing, but again, they've got to apply that everything on the floor on both ends of the court. It's been a tough game for the two-time defending champions who won their first FIBA AfroBasket back in 2011. And Coach, why not Nigeria? Why not now, maybe?
Well, I mean, Nigeria has certainly been playing really well. I think for them, how they shoot it from three is going to be really important in some of these bigger games. But their defensive intensity and ball pressure, they've been playing 12 guys so far here in the tournament. So have all the pieces to be one of the best teams here.
So there's another long shot. Nigeria still wanting to run, leading by 20. Obata just trying to keep space here, but now switching on defense. Looks like Tunisia going into a man-to-man matchup. Tunisia going for a step back mid-range, and now biggest lead at 22. Everything flying in at the moment now for Niger.
Tough step back there from Nuga.
Oh, Yassina, are you kidding me? Well, he faked the dribble handoff. Where did that one come from?
Well, that's a great play there from Toomey. Like you said, faked the handoff with the wing, was able to catch them in between on a switch, and what a finish there at the rim.
Well, that's a highlight we're going to remember from him from this game. Kabundi quickly trying to go for the pick and roll. Koye now subbing into the game. Nwamu going for another three. Oh my goodness. Koye just said anything you could do, I could just do a little bit, maybe a bit better.
Well, it's funny, I was talking to Stan before the game, and with the broken rim we had yesterday, it reminded me of 2015 when Stan broke a rim in the game on an ATO play we had drawn up for him. So he told me he thought he still had a little bit left in the tank. Looked like he was trying to test that rim right there.
Well, that didn't look like a little bit left. I think he's going to be doing that for a very long time. The great shape that he's in his career at the moment. So since FIBA went to the windows, of course, nice take by Omar Obata, but when they went to the windows, starting with the 2019 FIBA Basketball Cup, Stanek Koye has always been a fantastic ambassador for Nigerian basketball.
Well, it's funny, in 2015, he was one of the young bucks on that team, just really starting out as a professional player, and has gone on to have a tremendous career overseas. And man, you see Toomey on the finish there. That's the level of aggression you need. You know that there's going to be somebody waiting for you at the rim. Can't be afraid to attack there.
And it's Obata, the one who should be boxing out of Koye from the backcourt. Still a 20-point lead to the Tigers. Kick out. The pass should be better. And that's kind of frustrating, Coach, because it's a great penetration by Jaziri, but that pass, this level you're playing at, you've got to put that in a sweet spot because that's an open three.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy pass. I like the adjustment here from Nigeria. They've gone to switching versus the pick and roll. I think that's the right move here. A little bit of the smaller lineup on the floor with Okoye now playing the 4 for them.
We'll find Anuga. Igbano also back on the floor. Well, he's made 1 3 tonight. He'll make another one. Second three-pointer of the night for Amagbo. Now indeed the biggest lead of the game for Nigeria. Three-point shooting has been slightly better here in the second half. And that's unfortunately going to be another turnover. Nigeria will get it back.
Well, Tunisia just out of sync completely. And you see a pretty easy swing to the corner there for 3. So a little bit more discipline defensively from Tunisia. Definitely could be in gaps, but you want to be smart about how you help off.
Igbano unable to get the three-pointer, but a foul is going to be called against Tunisia. That's going to be against Bilal Jaziri. I think that was clear as daylight, making no effort to box out Igbano, just holding him down. Well, we still have another quarter to play, Coach, and this is becoming tough for Tunisia because it's that rhythm on offense. Rugenau will go for 3. Another offensive board. Finds a play, goes in, and in the right place at the right time. Even they have a 25-point lead. You can see the frustration from the Nigeria players. They feel like they should be going to the free throw line.
That's a great pass there from Eke, and that's what Stan Okoye does best. He's so good at finding seams to cut through. Nice job there at the finish.
Wachi kicks out. Tuni again one more time. That's a nice penetration by him. He's got to remain aggressive and keep attacking the paints.
Well, we've seen 2 great finishes there from Toomey, really being aggressive, attacking those closeouts, trying to bring a little life here to this Tunisia team.
Nigeria trying to find the opening. Tunisia have numbers. Toomey's with him. Goes in. Can't finish. Toomey goes. Well, he's going to get an &1, I think. Now, was the foul called on that play or the play prior?
No, I think it's just a late call. I think Nuga got him on the arm there. The referee may be waiting to see if the ball goes in before he whistles that. But still a great effort to follow up the play for the tip-in.
Well, that was the original play. Because that is a positive play, though, from Tunisia, because you come up with a defensive stop, and quickly you're on the run. And what you like from Toomey, that he just goes in as a trailer for a follow-up in case, especially against the defense of Nigeria, a block or a miss attempt.
Well, it's a nice job of running the floor, not assuming that Kanuni had the finish there. He's been playing with good energy here. Sometimes that's difficult when you're down big.
Final shot here of the third quarter for Niger. Leading this game by 21 points. Niger goes for a quick 3. Not going to go. And Tunisia survival. There you have it, the end of the third quarter. Second game in Group B. Nigeria looking to remain undefeated at the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Convincing victory for them on their opening game against Madagascar. While Tunisia suffering heavily against Cameroon. If they don't turn this around, the 2-time defending champions will be winless here in the group.
Well, you can see the body language of the team. It's really a difficult position. So much pressure on them. There's been such a long history of winning for Tunisia. A lot of new faces in this group, though. They know that the country expects them to perform well here, but just have not been able to find that magic here at AfroBasket so far.
Only 1 out of 12 from the three-point line. It just, unfortunately, it hasn't been good enough. And the thing is, Coach, when you don't have a great night from the perimeter and you're up against one of the favorites in this competition, 1 out of 7, 8 favorites, whatever we like, that makes it even tougher.
Yeah, no question. And you see Josh Okoji here with the great finish, and he's just had his way against this Tunisian defense all game.
Well, he's 9 for 15 from the field with 27 points. Well, for Tunisia, well, only 2 players in double figures with Amara Bada at 10. And Yassine Toomey with 12, who's been probably their most productive player. He is 4 rebounds away from a double-double.
Well, Toomey's you know, I really like what he's brought to the court here in the second half. He's been aggressive, attacking some of these closeouts, getting to the offensive boards. Really what's missing for this Tunisia team, they need one of their shooters to come alive. So some of these guys, you know, Marnawi, kind of a streaky shooter, 0 for 5 right now from 3. Somebody's got to be able to knock down shots for them on the perimeter to have any chance getting back in this game.
Well, now we are about to begin the fourth quarter, the final 10 minutes between Nigeria and Tunisia. Scan the QR code to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams and extended highlights of FIBA competitions and friendly games ahead of the FIBA 2025 AfroBasket. Courtside 1891, download it today. Well, it's now or never for Tunisia, because depending how the game later today goes between Cameroon and Madagascar, that final game for them against Madagascar could determine who stays in Angola.
Yeah, I mean, I think the likely tiebreak scenario is probably either way. It's going to come down to that final game with Madagascar. So certainly trying to see if they can get something positive going for them from this game. I mean, still a lot of unproven players on this roster. Maybe try giving a chance to some of these other guys, see if they can get them a little bit of confidence as they head into the last group game.
He bumps, losing his balance. Oh, wide open. Didn't quite realize how pump fake, so no one was around him.
Well, that's a great pass there from Toomey. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Ganauni, you've been so used to seeing Nigerian bodies around you at the rim, so I don't blame him on the pump fake.
That's going to remain Nigeria ball. Deep in the sideline with 12 on the shot clock. Because I want to ask you that question. Go back 10 years ago to 2015. That final at the FIBA AfroBasket where you led this Nigerian team, well, that Nigerian team to a championship. I mean, how was it? Just the experience of being there and leading the country to the first ever AfroBasket championship.
Well, it's definitely a highlight of my coaching career. Really one of my favorite teams I've been a part of. So just the brotherhood that was a part of that team is really unique and special. We had to go through a lot of hardships to get to that point. So it was really great to see them able to host the trophy at the end of that tournament.
Well, Igbanu drawing the foul, so it's going to be 2 free throws for him. He's had a, you know, anytime you're out of injury for a month, couple of months, but 2 years, 2 seasons, that's a long time, but great to see him back here. So it will take a bit of time for him to fit into rhythm, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's come in here with a lot of life. Doesn't seem to be favoring that injury in any kind of way. So obviously it takes time to find your rhythm as a player. And it's really tough to get thrown in such a competitive environment as your first games, but I think he's been handling it well.
Well, I think Caleb Agata, his night may be done along with Josh Okogie because they've both been terrific, but it has indeed been Josh Okogie on the offense in this game. It was Caleb Agata in that opening victory against Madagascar. So maybe we'll see more rotation players getting into the lineup here for Niger. Marnawi. He just got to play for pride. Foul is going to be called against Eke. So that's going to be Nigeria's second team foul here in the fourth and final quarter. Well, Madagascar in the building. Game face on, getting ready for that big game against Cameroon.
Yeah, they certainly are. You know, you gotta like their competitiveness early on against Nigeria, able to hang with them at least for the first half. Another young team with a lot of players getting their first experience here at AfroBasket.
Just a talking point for Tunisia is going to be that 1 3-pointer. Well, they have time to make more, but Banu's going to draw the second team foul against Tunisia here in the fourth and final quarter.
Yeah, nice job of running the floor. He got the early seal there at the rim. Did a good job of holding his position. See there, Marnawi really no choice but to take the foul.
So this is going to be a sideline ball, not a baseline possession, because, no, it has to be a baseline possession right under the basket.
Yeah, no, it clearly should be on the baseline. I'm not sure. I don't understand this. It's definitely, you can see Stanagoya with the question. He's absolutely right. I don't see any way it wouldn't be an underneath out of bounds play.
Igbanu goes in, draws another foul, and will reward himself with another trip to the free throw line. This foul's going to be on Archie. That's going to be a second personal foul. Well, you want to win by as many points. Points difference matters. But I guess it's going to be down to Nigeria and Cameroon to find out who will book their tickets directly to the quarterfinals. Because you look at both teams, I think we still have to see Cameroon play in the second game. But, man, if they play anything like that in the first with the three-point shooting, who knows? Could be Cameroon's. Could be Cameroon's tournament.
Yeah, they were really impressive in that first game. And as you said, when they shoot from the perimeter like that, they can beat anybody. So definitely is going to be a great matchup against Nigeria in the third game of this group play.
A great opportunity for him to build some more confidence, build his way back in after such a long time out from injury, after playing in the Japanese B-League second division. 21-point lead to Nigeria. It's an aggressive take to the bucket, dishes off. It's going to be a third team foul against Niger. Because it's easier said than done, but you got to look at Tunisia. You look at that set there play, the aggressive drive down the middle, and if you want to compete here against the AfroBasket's best teams, that's got to be every possession, I guess, Coach.
Well, it's been a struggle for them for sure. You know, able to get downhill a little bit in that pick and roll. One thing that I haven't seen a lot has been Oshie as a pop big. You know, maybe that's just a different look they could try and see if they can catch these bigs of Nigeria in the paint. But it's been a hard go for them and everything else.
Abada goes in quick, counted. He'll go to the free throw line. Tunisia must play for pride. So cut it down to 19. Now he could make it an 18-point deficit. So Koji is going to come back into the lineup here for the Tigers.
A nice take there from Abada. Really getting downhill again off these handoffs and ball screens. Absorbs the contact. Good finish there.
Hugo Simon also subbing back in. He only made that one three-point field goal in the first half. Nigeria so far this evening, 9 out of 36 from the perimeter, which is just 25%. But, you know, for their standards, they'll want to be better. 27 points tonight for this man, 5 rebounds.
Oh, he's been tremendous all game.
Okoye finds a Koji, goes baseline. Simon's made 1 3. Now make another one. Left wide open, ice cold in the paint, straight off the bench.
That's a really nice kick out there from Okoji. Think if you're Tunisia, though, rather than forcing him baseline, I think you just got to play him straight up, see if he's going to take it off the dribble. He's been such a good facilitator for this team. Nice job there finding the corner.
Well, you can just feel the anxiety, the frustration from the Tunisian players. Here's a look at the replay. Yeah, that's definitive by all means.
You just see the frustration. Oshie really has not been able to get anything going today.
Because as we just saw, Madagascar's in the building. They'll be watching this game closely and thinking, look, we hung in there with Nigeria. That final game, that is going to decide whether you go home early or you compete in the round of 16 to get to the quarterfinals of the AfroBasket.
Well, there definitely will be a lot riding on that game. It'll be interesting to see how these teams respond to that pressure. Of course, Madagascar playing today can make life much easier for themselves by winning.
Well, that could be a good game. Cameroon versus Madagascar. They'll be tipping off later here this evening in Luanda. Chawadi going for 3. Rebound by Okoye. 29 points for this man. Sensing that mismatch. The ISO mode here against Chawadi. Koji twisting, turning, going in. 31 points. Next season, he's going to play for the Houston Rockets. And his coach, Ime Udoka, played in 2 FIBA AfroBaskets and 1 FIBA Basketball World Cup for Nigeria. They have a lot in common, Coach.
Well, you know, Ime really paved the way for a lot of the Nigerian Americans to come and join the national team. So, you know, obviously a huge history there. A tremendous player on the national team, now a tremendous coach in the NBA. But you can see Okoji you just have to be more disciplined if you're Tunisia. So he's isolating at the top of the key, able to get all the way to the rim with no resistance. You know, you got to see him beat you from the perimeter, especially if it's off the right journey.
It was such fascinating, the history of basketball. I remember 2006, I was 16 years old watching that FIBA Basketball Cup in Saitama, Japan, you know, from home, of course. Ime Udoka, part of that Nigeria team, as you mentioned. Many of the great Nigerian Americans have then played for the Tigers. But, you know, you're a part of that history too, Coach. One FIBA AfroBasket Championship, 2015. You got to think, it's been 10 long years. Another one's got to be coming soon.
Well, they've got to be feeling good about their chances. You know, really great performance here from start to finish. And you see Stan Okoye with the great cuts, something he's always been really good at doing.
Well, here's some highlights from the Tigers. Stan Okoye, she too had a very good connection with player and coach that time with the Tigers, but he'll go to the bench. He's had a professional performance tonight, a veteran's role indeed for Nigeria. Okoye finishing with 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists as they lead by 25 points. Jawadi feeling like even with 6:35 at the 25-point deficit, they mustn't give up. Unfortunately, it's going to be another turnover for Tunisia. That's tough.
Well, that's a great closeout, and that's the experience on display. So, you know, Josh Okoye, high-level defender in the NBA. He knows what Tumi's strengths are. We saw it earlier in this game. Tumi able to drive by overly aggressive closeouts. That time, Okoye closeout soft, makes him beat him from the perimeter and leads to the travel.
That was also turnover number 16. Nigeria only have 7, but they have come up with 8 steals, and just tells you a lot as Agata back in the lineup. And another foul is going to be called against Tunisia. Oh no, it's going to be called against Nigeria actually. So, and you're here getting it in his favor. So,
I'm not sure what that was. Maybe Talib a little aggressive with the hold. Hard to see anything from our angle there.
Both teams into the penalties now. Well, Tunisia with 4 fouls, but any more fouls, they will send each other to the free throw line. Because what was it like having him as an assistant coach, now seeing him progress from that role to now being the man in the front seat, leading them to hopefully another championship?
Well, you know, that's one of the great things about head coaching. It's not only the players and their development that, you know, you really appreciate watching, but it's your support staff as well. So, you know, Abdul Rahman Mohammed, a good player on the national team, and making the transition over as a young coach at that time back in 2015. But it's great to see him here leading this Nigerian national team to a great start to the tournament.
Well, Muhammad's going to fire another 3. That rolls its way in and out. Nigeria 10 out of 39 from the perimeter tonight. Not sure the shot clock was started, but here he comes. And another finish in transition by Okoye, taking his tally up to 33.
Well, he has had his way with this defense, been able to get to the rim so often. This time in transition, a little bit of a breakdown with their transition defense. The clock going off, I think, froze some of the defenders there.
Well, nice take down the middle, just avoiding the block from Okoye. You just saw the statistic, the difference in transition points. Nigeria was 16. Tunisia only with 4 so far this evening.
That's definitely a big part of this game. Nigeria able to get out and run quite a bit because of their defense. So these stops leading to transition opportunities.
Well, if you're Tunisia, you want to narrow the deficit as much as possible, because what they don't want to see happen tonight is Madagascar winning against Cameroon. Because then not only would they have to beat Madagascar in the final game, that point would come down to head-to-heads and point differences.
Yeah, definitely at this stage of the game, you got to start thinking about point differential if you're Tunisia. See if you can chip away at this lead at least a little bit and make it more respectable.
Madagascar lost to Nigeria by 18 points. Nigeria right now leading by 22. So you want to lose by less than 18 at the very best. But that's in the case, in the event, I'm just assuming that if Madagascar, who do have a very exciting lineup, of course, with Madi, Sitraka, Kiadi as well. I mean, it could be a team that surprises many later this evening. And, you know, who knows? Anything's possible here at the AfroBasket.
Well, you know, that's why they play the game. So, you know, as you said, on any given night, any of these teams could beat each other. Certainly Cameroon looked like a juggernaut in their first game, but you know, young, upstart Madagascar team, you never know.
Batumi's got to be able to make these free throws. Got to be able to narrow down the deficit. I'm taking advantage from the free throw line. Nigeria patiently passing the ball around the defense. In no mood to rush anything. Abato nearly coming up with a steal this time. And now he comes up with it. And a blocking foul is going to be called. So this is good for Tunisia. Because Ben Yahia now will go straight to the charity stripe.
Well, nice defensive stop there. You see Manani, you know, with the active hands there in the passing lane. And, you know, again, you have 4 minutes left in this game. You know, seemingly this game might be out of reach, but point differential becoming so important. Tunisia's got to be aware of that. Also, you want to try to find something positive to build off of as you move forward to this last all-important game in group play.
Ben Yahia, like some of his teammates also last season, playing at US Monastir. And I'm not saying that to obviously rattle your cage, of course, but your time in the bowl. But yeah, you look at him and you think, what are going to be some advantages in that matchup, you know, against Madagascar? Because they need other players to step into the lineup, coach, and to really make a difference and an impact.
Well, I mean, it's that, right? This is a team that's trying to find an identity. So many important players for this national team have now retired. And Abada's really used to setting up these veteran scorers. So for him, it's been difficult, right? He doesn't have an established scorer to play off him. So he's had to shoulder a lot more of that load, but had to change his game. I think that's put him a little bit out of rhythm as well. So, you know, really all these guys trying to learn how to play with each other. And for Coach Marie, trying to figure out how to showcase the abilities of these new players, find a system that's going to work best for them here at AfroBasket.
Goes great performance from Nigeria. Josh Okogie simply unstoppable, but you know, the inconsistency from the three-point line could be a problem, especially when you go up against a team as very well organized as Cameroon. And as we saw with Cameroon, 11 out of 29 from the three-point line in their opening game. If they find that on a consistent basis, the final game between those two countries is going to be an exciting one to watch.
Yeah, no, it should be a great game. You know, we see the Okogie highlights here, and he's just done such a good job of letting the game come to him. Really hasn't forced much at all. The threes he's taken primarily have been pretty wide open. He's done a good job of knocking those down and has been able to get to the rim all game long.
4:05, Tunisia want to lose by less than 18 points. And the potential there could be a head-to-head against Madagascar. A bit of full court pressure, but Nigeria have no problem breaking it down.
And you got to think too, Josh, it's not just the one game, it's the two games. So it's the added point differential of the two games played for Tunisia. So really, you're trying to get this as low as you possibly can. You know, obviously their first game didn't go the way they wanted. You don't know how things will end with Cameroon and Madagascar, but you know, for right now, it's just, you know, every possession, trying to do the best you can, playing this game out to the very end.
Well, Tumi again just attacking the defense. Kind of a tough one there, but he will go back to the free throw line. This is where you got to knock him down. You spend the hours and hours going to that free throw line. That inconsistency.
Well, you know, one of the bright spots of this game, Tunisia has been able to get to the free throw line. Tumi yet to convert here, but I mean, this is something you can build off of going into that last game.
Because we have to remember with him, he's yet to play professional basketball straight out of Seton Hall. So this is also a learning experience for him. But he's got to learn quickly because, as mentioned, This is the FIBA AfroBasket. They are two-time defending champions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. There's so many of these guys that don't have AfroBasket experience, and it's so important.
Well, I'm not sure if Igbanu is going to come up with the assist, but that is going to be an easy bucket for Niger. 21-point lead, just over 3 minutes to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Obata. Bumping with the defense, nice pump fake. Oh, that's a good look, but he's got to be able to finish. They need to be able to depend on him. As you mentioned, no Salah Medri, no Makram Ben Ramdan. Now he has to be a go-to player.
Yeah, it was a really nice move. Just unfortunate he couldn't come up with the finish there.
Bonucci goes in, avoiding the block in Nigeria, still battling for offensive boards. Well, Tunisia can't cut it down to 19, but unfortunately, turning that one over. You kind of feel for these players because that is how it's been for them.
Well, you're absolutely right. Just nothing going their way today. Jaziri with the 1-on-0 fast break and just loses control of it there at the end. And you see the frustration there. That's just been the game for Tunisia.
Because Coach Marie started in Switzerland with Fribourg, a team that was, in the early days featuring the Basketball Champions League, and then worked with youth programs in Asvel Villebon, Jardin Dijon, or as CSP Limoges, excuse me. But now with his experience, this has got to be a situation he's not used to because it's a game in which, nice three-pointer nail by Eke. I mean, what do you do as a coach? Because intrinsically, these players have got to figure it out because they've got one final game after this to stay here in Angola.
Well, it's a difficult situation. You're the head coach of the defending champs, but you really have an entirely different team. In a lot of ways, this is a rebuild, trying to develop some of these youth players. You see Nigeria on the fast break here, but Coach Monet, actually somebody I first met at the Utah Jazz training camp in the NBA. So. Somebody that I've known for a long time. He's done an excellent job developing youth players. I think that's really got to be the movement here for Tunisia. Some of these young guys getting valuable experience that hopefully build off of as you move forward as a national team.
I mean, the balance in this tournament. You said it on game day 1. 6, 7 teams you could pick to probably, stand on one of the 3 positions of the podium. It doesn't get more competitive than any other continental competition here in this summer.
Yeah, no question. So many teams can be considered contenders, and a lot of them performing well so far here early in the tournament. So, it really does come down to a game of matchups. I think our quarterfinal games and even the elimination games prior to that are going to be really fun to watch. And for each team, who they draw, the strengths and weaknesses of those individual teams, I think are going to be important. I don't know that there's necessarily just a clear-cut favorite here, maybe outside of Angola.
Well, 4 rebounds away from a potential double-double, but, he's got potential, and I think you kind of look at where his professional career may take him. I could see him developing. I mean, what position would you see him developing at a high level of pro basketball?
Well, he's playing the 3 here for the national team, and that's for sure what he'll have to be as an international player. I think that'll be a little bit of adjustment. I know he was playing a little bit of 4 at Seton Hall in college, but he's got to continue to improve his perimeter shooting. But you saw a lot of the length and athleticism on display. Some real positive moments for him so far in this tournament.
Nice defense by the Tigers, now trying to convert, coming up with it. Here goes Simon trying to make a dish shot. Yet again, but Tunisia survived. 2-on-1 with Abada. Jawada finds it, and he finishes. That's all going to be a consolation at the moment here for the 2-time defending champions. Well, unfortunately, it looked like for them they're going to go 0-2 as Nigeria leading by 24.
And you can see Coach Mari keeping a lot of his important players on the floor right now. So he knows point differential matters, but also, too, just trying to find a little bit of continuity to move forward. So two good transition baskets there from Tunisia.
I mean, one of the head-to-heads specifically, given the fact that Madagascar lost by 18 to Nigeria. That's just one of them, of course. Coach, with over a minute to go, they could get 2 more good possessions to finish this game off, trailing by 22.
Well, every possession matters for them, and you know, anything positive that they can try to build off, I think is going to be important. So you know, he's trying a different combination of players, seeing if he can find something to click. But obviously, I'm sure he's already thinking ahead to that very important game against Madagascar in group play.
Well, the other games going on in this 2025 FIBA AfroBasket, the 31st edition. Of course, the other games are in Namibia, but we saw a fantastic one last night in which Guinea, of course, had a monumental lead against Angola. But, you know, Angola, led by Chilson Bango, Bruno Fernando, just found a way back. And a big fourth quarter from Celta Miguel, especially Angola, another team who do struggle from the perimeter.
Well, you know, definitely a big win. I don't think the score was reflective of how that game was played. So towards the very end of the game, getting a little bit out of hand there, but really tight down to the finish. Guinea, you know, comes to this tournament with a very strong team. Mamadi Diakite, one of my former players, has been playing really well, and of course Alpha Diallo, the dynamic scorer for them. So there's no easy out here at AfroBasket.
Simon, so far with those only 2 3-point field goals. The victory looks like it's going to be in the bag at the moment here for Nigeria. 6-0 on the shot clock. They got to go quick. They'll go for another 3. It's not going to go. Now, if you are Tunisia, you want to get a quick bucket here to give you a potential 2 for 1. That might not be possible if they're going to take their time. Ganoudi trying to ice up. Here he had a look at the perimeter. That's 2 good looks. They'll go for a floater. That's going to be an offensive foul. Now the question is, did he get the shot off before the charge was given? That's what I want to know. Well, let's have a look at the replay here. That's a penetration. It's close, you know, Coach.
I think they're counting it because it looks like they're going to get free throws. Yeah, he's going to count the basket, and then that should lead to free throws now for Nigeria.
There were 2 looks there, Jaziri as well as Ganoudi. They had, you know, open looks in the perimeter. The closeout intense defense by Nigeria, making every 3-point attempt, you know, a very low percentage one. But, Coach, you kind of lose your confidence, even if you've only collectively made 1 3-pointer this evening as a team. You've got to shoot the ball.
Well, absolutely. You know, 1 for 14 from 3. Obviously, it's been a real struggle for them, but they've also had a hard time generating open looks from 3.
Banu, as mentioned, a very long time out due to that injury that he picked up in Tokyo, but great to see him back. Trying to extend this yet again to a 22-point lead with 20.6 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Coming with an offensive rebound. Still 6 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Coach Mohamed Abdurrahman just saying, don't shoot it. I think he's just saying, hold it, game's over. That gives Tunisia a chance to get it back now with 3.5, or 2.1 potentially.
Well, in this case, I understand Abdul-Rahman, the point differential will not come into play for Nigeria. It really will come down, assuming Cameroon wins today, to the head-to-head victory there.
If they get a 3-pointer, they cut it down to an 18-point deficit, which would be the same as Madagascar. So, in the event that has any relevance, well, that could be interesting. But as mentioned, Tunisia's only converted 1 so far today. Jawadi gets in his own court. He's going to have to force it up. Well, there's a 3. It's up, no good. Nigeria, 10 long years since they've won the FIBA AfroBasket, and they begin the 31st edition here in 2025. 2-0 here in Group B. Well, great stuff, of course, by Nigeria, led by Josh Okogie with 33 points, a dominant performance. The 2-time defending champions, Tunisia, right now looking at the bottom of the barrel, but they will have one final game against Madagascar.
Yeah, well, great performance from Nigeria. Started with their ball pressure at the beginning of this game. Really disruptive. Tunisia was unable to find any kind of rhythm all game long. You also saw the multiple efforts with their closeouts on the perimeter, holding Tunisia to 1 of 15 shooting from 3.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the key stats, and then we'll run back the best highlights. Remember, another game coming up later as we'll see Cameroon go up against Madagascar. Cameroon, of course, winning their opening game in fine fashion against Tunisia. They'll also look to remain undefeated. Right now, the Tigers, Niger, trying to relive history. The only time they've won the FIBA AfroBasket, well, their head coach is the man right next to me, and what a time that was in Nigerian basketball history.
Yeah, really special team, unbelievable brotherhood, and you can see them here. There's a camaraderie with these guys, and that's always been one of the strengths of these Nigerian national teams. So as that brotherhood grows throughout this tournament, will that lead them to another AfroBasket title?
I mean, look at the three-point stat right there, and also the fact they have way less offensive rebounds in their opening game. Talking about Tunisia, the confidence felt like it was completely taken away from the two-time defending champions.
Well, 9 assists and 19 turnovers, that was kind of the story. They just were unable to create shots for each other. I mean, credit to Nigeria's defense. They were incredible, really disruptive to start the game. The ball pressure, the rotation, the rim protection, really showing it all.
Well, at the end of the third quarter, Tunisia coach, quite interestingly, actually had more points in the paint than Nigeria, but you look at points from turnovers. Nigeria at that point had converted 18 points off turnovers from Tunisia, so it just shows the game had different areas, but you just got to go back to the three-point shooting. Tunisia, it's one of those days where nothing was going in for them, and they just didn't seem to have a backup plan.
Yeah, it really was just a real struggle from the perimeter today.
Well, here are the highlights from the game. Chris has mentioned Tunisia have one final game here in the group, but if Madagascar wins later on against Cameroon, well, that can make things very, very complicated in terms of the points difference. Like I said, if Cameroon does win, well, that would mean the final game between Madagascar and Tunisia would be the final decided to see who goes to the round of 16, which would be the play-in to the quarterfinals here at the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket. Hugo Simon today, 2 out of 3 from the perimeter. And as great as Nigeria were, Coach, you both know their three-point shooting wasn't consistent.
Well, 42 attempts from the three-point line. I think they're going to have to find a little bit more balance with their offensive attack. Living and dying by the three, not necessarily a strength of this team, but you see Koji, a tremendous job today of getting to the rim, finding the guys on cuts and kickouts when the defense did collapse. So really strong performance from him today.
Well, as mentioned, Cameroon will be in action later on in just over an hour as they will be taking on Madagascar. Madagascar with some very talented players. It's been a long return for them to the FIBA AfroBasket, so anything could be possible in that game. But Cameroon will be the favorites. Well, we'll take a look at the other games going on. Rwanda currently playing against the Congo DR. Later on this evening in Namibia, we'll see Cape Verde, Eddie Tavares, Ivan Almeida take on Cote d'Ivoire, which should be an exciting matchup. That one will also be in Namibia. But get ready, it's just in over an hour. It'll be Cameroon versus Madagascar here in Group E. Josh Bett alongside former Nigeria head coach and FIBA AfroBasket champion, Coach Will Voigt. We'll be back in just over an hour.